Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're focusing all our energy on mastering the mechanics of a grammatical structure that honestly sounds way more intimidating than it actually is. We're talking about the present perfect passive voice. If you've ever wanted to sound a bit more professional, or, if you just want to understand how journalists, writers, and business leaders structure their sentences to really pack a punch, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to refine this structure together, block by block.
Let me just kick things off by asking you a question directly. Has your grammar been perfected? Now take a really close look at that question. What's kind of fun about it is that the question itself uses the exact grammar structure we're about to tear down and rebuild together today. Has your grammar been perfected? By the end of this explainer, you'll know exactly how that sentence was constructed, and much more importantly, how to build your own.
Here is our master builder blueprint for today. First, we'll meet the present perfect passive. Second, we'll examine the core grammar formula. Third, I'll give you a step-by-step conversion guide. Fourth, we'll discuss when to use it. And finally, 5 common pitfalls to avoid.
All right, Section 1. Meet the present perfect passive.
Okay, so here's the core definition. The present perfect passive voice is used when an action was completed at an unspecified time before now. But here is the real secret sauce. The focus is entirely on the receiver of the action, or the result of the action, rather than who actually performed it. This is basically the ultimate who did it, we don't know, and frankly, we don't care structure. The spotlight is 100% on the receiver, not the doer. It's an absolutely fantastic tool when the outcome itself is what truly matters.
Moving right along to Section 2, the core grammar formula. Think of these formulas like visual math equations. On the left, you've got your standard active formula, subject plus have or has, plus your past participle, which we usually just call V3, plus the object. Now look over on the right. In the passive formula, a massive shift happens. The original subject actually gets a promotion. It becomes your brand new subject right at the front of the sentence. Then you have or has, plus a tiny but absolutely mighty new word, been, followed by your V3. And the original subject, it gets demoted, shoved all the way to the end in parentheses as the by agent. Let's see how this builds out.
So, the crucial takeaway here is this. The auxiliary verb been is always required between have or has and your main verb, the V3. I really want to stress this non-negotiable rule. Think of the word been as the mortar holding the heavy bricks of your sentence together. Without that mortar of been, your whole passive grammatical house is literally going to fall right apart.
Now, a super common trip-up is how we choose between has been and have been. Actually, scratch that. It's not just a trip-up. It's a huge mistake to look at the old sentence to decide. Don't do that. Whether you use has been or have been depends entirely on the brand new subject you just moved to the front of the sentence. If your newly promoted subject is singular, like he, she, it, or an uncountable noun, use has been. If your new subject is plural, like we, they, or plural nouns, use have been. Simple as that.
And this brilliantly illustrates how our core formula adapts across 4 different sentence types. I highly encourage you to hit pause and take a screenshot of this perfect cheat sheet right now. In the affirmative, we have the contract has been signed. In the negative, we just slide a not right in the middle. The emails have not been sent yet. For a yes/no interrogative question, we just flip the order. Has the project been approved? And for a WH question, it goes right at the very front. Where have the documents been stored? Notice how been stubbornly stays locked right next to that V3 verb in every single variation. It doesn't budge.
All right, Section 3, our step-by-step conversion guide.
Let's start with a very relatable everyday active sense. The technician has repaired the router. We've all been there, right? Staring anxiously at a blinking red Wi-Fi light. In this sentence, the technician is the subject doing the action, and the router is the object receiving the action.
We're going to walk through this mechanically, block by block. Step 1, identify your object. Here, it's the router. Step 2, move it to the subject position at the front of the sentence. Now, the router is the star of our show. Step 3, match your auxiliary verb to this new singular subject and add our required mortar, been, so we get has been. Step 4, drop in your past participle, your V3 verb, which is repaired. And Step 5, add your agent at the end with the word by, giving us by the technician. And boom, there we have our final beautifully constructed passive sentence. The router has been repaired. Notice how I put by the technician in parentheses there? That's because it's completely optional now. If you just want to shout to your roommates or your family that the internet is working again, the router has been repaired is literally all they care about.
But wait, look at this tricky plural conversion that catches a lot of people totally off guard.
On the left, the company has launched 3 new products. The active sentence uses has because the company is singular. But on the right, when we promote the object to our new subject, it's 3 new products. That is completely plural. Because our new subject is plural, we absolutely must change the auxiliary verb from has to have. So we get 3 new products have been launched. Always, always double-check your new subject.
Okay, section 4, when to use it.
So, here are your 3 primary use cases for the present perfect passive. Number 1, when the agent or the doer of the action is unknown or totally irrelevant. Number 2, when you are focusing on recent achievements, updates, or exciting news. And number 3, when the doer is blindingly obvious from the context of the situation. Let's look at some vivid examples for each of these.
My car has been stolen. Just imagine this terrible scenario for a second. You walk outside your house, and your driveway is just empty. You don't know who the thief is. And frankly, the identity of the thief isn't your primary concern at that exact panicked moment. The missing stolen car is the most important part of this frustrating scenario. The passive voice perfectly captures that intense focus on the stolen item itself.
Use case 2. Have you ever noticed how journalists, news anchors, and PR teams speak? They use this structure constantly. Over 5,000 tickets have been sold for tomorrow's concert, or a new law has been passed by Parliament. These sentences sound highly official, they sound objective, and they put the massive achievement, the 5,000 tickets, or the brand new law, right at the front of the sentence to grab your attention instantly. It highlights thrilling recent news flawlessly.
And use case 3, the suspect has been arrested. Think about it for a second. Do we really need to say by the police at the end of that sentence? No, of course not. It's completely obvious from the context who has the authority to do the arresting in society. Dropping the obvious agent makes your sentence tighter, faster, and just so much more professional.
Finally, Section 5, Common Pitfalls to Avoid.
Here are the 3 most common structural failures people make when writing or speaking in this tense. 1. Forgetting the word been. 2. Subject-verb agreement errors. And 3. Using a V2 past tense verb instead of the required V3 past participle. Let's break these down.
Look at the sentence on the left here. The report has submitted. This is a classic case of forgetting the word been, but I just have to playfully point out the absolute absurdity of this mistake. By leaving out been, you've accidentally created an active sentence. You're saying the report literally submitted something all by itself. Did it grow hands and type? How did it log into the computer? Obviously no. You need that mortar. The correct sentence on the right is, the report has been submitted.
Next up, the subject-verb agreement error. On the left, the updates has been installed. Remember our tricky plural rule from earlier? Updates is plural, so it absolutely demands the plural auxiliary. The right side is correct. The updates have been installed. And quickly, the final pitfall, using a V2 verb. You can't say, the letter has been wrote. Wrote is just a simple V2 past tense. You must use the V3 past participle, which makes it, the letter has been written. Always, always double-check your irregular verbs.
Which brings me to my final, somewhat provocative question for you today. Has this explainer been understood? I'm winking at you through the screen right now because I know you instantly recognize that the question I just asked is using the exact present perfect passive structure you have just mastered. I highly encourage you to look closely at the articles you read, the news you watch, and the professional emails you receive this week. Keep analyzing the grammar and the world around you. Now that you know exactly how it's built, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. Thanks for learning with me today.